So, let me think. The next question is kind of like, how was like the logistical process of coming here? Like, what did you have to do? Like, forms you had to fill out, stuff like that. And can you just kind of like walk me through your preparations?
So since I came to America in the past, I knew a little bit about like visa process and documentations and stuff like that. So it wasn't like, oh my god, it's so much paperwork. But when I was trying to get into college, it was the first thing I needed to get into college. So it was a lot of preparation in terms of like, oh, I need to get a test, I need to do what else, like application and wait for the results, and then I had to apply for a visa, and it was a little bit difficult because I had to make sure that I have substantial financial ability to go to school, and I didn't. Bridgewater offered me partial scholarship, but I needed to get, like, my parents couldn't afford anything. But however, my host parents like were willing to, like, pay the rest of it so I can continue my education, which was very generous of them. And I had to decide, like, oh, will I accept that or not? And then afterwards, when I decided, yes, actually, education is worth taking this chance, taking this investment, I went for visa interview to the U.S. Embassy. Since I had already was accepted into college, they were very willing to give me, allow me to do that, to come here. But they made sure to ask, okay, who's going to pay for it? What do they study, like work and stuff like that? Can they really afford it? But afterwards, it was very clear cut. And yes, it does involve a lot of like, oh, I have to rewrite who's paying for it and stuff like that. But I think it was fair. Yeah.
Not too burdensome.
No, it's bureaucracy everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you kind of answered this next question, but you hadn't traveled anywhere before.
No, I have not traveled before. Like, actually, the first time I came to US, it was my first time flying on a plane, so it was very nerve-wracking. And I was very scared. I was waiting for people to say, oh, that was, surprise, now you're welcome to go back, it was just a joke, or something like that. Actually, there was a TV show called, in Russian it's called розыгрыш. It would mean pranking, and saying like, oh, something happened, or you're going somewhere, and then it turns out no, actually it's not what's gonna happen. So I was waiting until last minute, until I came to US, somebody say, that was joke, that was really fun, guys, thank you for participating, and you can go back home. So I waited until last minute, until I stepped to US, that I was going to back home. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's funny. And that kind of ties into like the next question, which is in like the next category, which is about like your experience in the United States. So can you walk me through like your first day in the US? And like obviously that was in high school.
Yeah, it was in high school. So when I first arrived, I was very excited, but I was so tired because it's been 2 days since I was flying. Oh my god, and it was a lot of students coming in, exchange students, and I was very nervous. And I met my host parents at the airport, and they had this Kyrgyz flag and welcome, and I was like, yay, so excited. I couldn't believe that I was breathing American air. Yeah, I don't think that I can call American air, but still I was like, oh my god, I'm an American. I'm like literally, like I was thinking about like, I'm stepping on American soil. Wow, how cool is that? So I was always thinking about that I was very impressed by the infrastructure, how like roads were great and like interstate roads and stuff like that. Because back home, it's quite opposite. It wishes we do have good roads, but not a lot of them. But since I grew up in a village up in the mountains, it's like wow, it's so smooth and like there's no bumps and stuff like that. um, but they took me out to dinner. And I've never been to a restaurant, like actual restaurant where the waiter comes and like asks what you want to do. So, what do you want to eat? And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And then they gave me a menu. So my brain was trying to switch to English. And I remember asking my host father, could you translate and help me with this? And he would go, okay, which meat do you want? Do you want fish? Do you like seafood or actual chicken or meat, beef? And then I would go step by step. And he did that for like half a year. So I had a tremendous like difficulty in terms of that. But I had a good speaking English, not writing English. But that helped a lot. I could understand them easily. And they took me to my room. And they have a very big house, and for me we had only three rooms back home. They were big, but we all slept in the same room and on the floor, and we didn't have bed. And they took me to my room, and it was like one bed, carpeted, and like ginormous like window. And I was like, wow, I always dreamt of like sleeping alone. It sounds funny, but yeah, it was very dream come true. Literally, like so many days I would go walk to school back home, and I would always like while I was learning English, I was like, oh, I cannot wait until the day when I will walk with my suitcase to my new home in America. And that image of suitcase and me was always stuck. And every time I would walk, and it's an hour and a half, so you have tons of time to think about anything, so I would daydream a lot of things I would do, classes I want to take. So it was like a dream. It was really nice. Open the fridge and they have tons of food. That was quite interesting. Having hot water inside the house, that was awesome. So it was a lot of adjustments, but I remember that the first day it seemed like a dream. Yeah.
So it's like a very big contrast.
Oh yes, it's a very big contrast. And I had the whole floor to myself. Like basically I was sleeping alone in the whole one floor. And I felt like, oh my god, it's so scary. And I would leave the lights on. And then the whole year I had the radio on because I got so used to the noise in the house with the kids. So I would plug it in and then put it on and then listen to music. So I still have some music that like songs from that year, 2013 and 14 academic year, that I hate now because I overheard it so much. I heard it so much that now I'm like, oh, I cannot stand it. So yeah, so
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I guess kind of to go off that question, did you feel a lot of like culture shock?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It was a lot of adjustments to do, especially my first year when I was the like exchange student. They were older people. They were seniors, and my parents were young. Like they could be my grandparents' age. So. And they didn't have kids inside the house. So it was big contrast. And thinking about just me was very difficult. I had to adjust to think about myself, and I felt selfish. I felt a lot of this conflicting feelings that I'd never had before. What else? Yeah, like adjusting to have something, and when people think about me only was difficult. For instance, I remember my host father took like I used to walk because I liked walking, and I was limited because you take cars everywhere, and we were out in the country, right? And I took a walk, and it kind of got a little darker, and he came with a car looking for me because he was worried. But for me, like, I felt awkward. I felt very uncomfortable that somebody was giving me attention, and parental attention. My parents, I think, raised me very independent, like extremely independent, to the point like, you can come whenever you want, but you will answer why you came late, and you need to learn how to be on your own. I had days when I would walk at night when it was like moon was there and I was walking, and it was fine. But the fact that I was getting that attention from also a male, like a fatherly figure. My father was very like removed from giving me like this love and like, care. I know he loves me, but at the same time, I never seen him to be like, oh, I'm gonna take care of you, I'm your father. I never had that. So for me, it was like, I cried, I remember, because it was emotionally very difficult for me to accept that. I couldn't give a hug because male don't give hugs to us. Like, hug was very intimate, then we give kisses actually. So that was very unusual. Me and my mom never kissed each other, so, and we never say I love you or I like you. Even we use that word, I like you, but I never said to my mom I like you. So only time was when I was leaving and they were like, good luck. And that kind of thing, when my host mom would like hug me and say, oh, I love you, and it was like adjustment to that took very long time for me. And unfortunately, usually it would come out as like this, I don't know what to do to it, and I had to learn a lot. So, yeah.
It's a big adjustment.
Yep.
Okay. So, my next question is like, what do you enjoy most, if anything, about the United States, and how did you figure that out?
Let me think a little bit.
Yeah, that's okay.
Actually, the reason why I'm thinking a lot is because there are so many things that I like about US. I like thinking on your own part, that you have to figure out yourself the answer. I like the opportunities. Everybody says, oh, it's it's not about opportunities, and I know distribution of opportunities also depends, and it depends on where you are, but I was quite lucky to go to school, to live with host parents who valued education and who would support me in any kind of situation. But one thing I love about America is that they will support you. The amount of support I got, it's unbelievable. I think if I have to compare from what I got when I was like, is the support that they gave me.